Hello everybody, I am here with HelloLeeroy, one of the Premiership players who's going to talk me through his series with Ting Ting a little bit. Do you want to introduce yourself, Leroy?
Yeah, I'm HelloLeeroy and I'm from Team XL, so, you know, they are usually not winning the Premiership, usually they come fourth.
Right now, both Doomsayers have already gone down. How big of a deal is that? Because now obviously you know it's Freeze Mage, not Reno Mage. How big of a moment is that for you with this Shaman deck?
It's worrying. Like, you can see it on my face. I'm pretty upset about it. I would much have preferred to take on Reno Mage, and I'm now thinking also, there's like that nagging thought in the back of your head, like, oh my god, how do I beat this with Zoo? I can make a board here that threatens him so much, right? Because if he has Alexstrasza, he'd have coined it last turn, right? 100% he'd have coined it last turn. So I'm not draw the Jinyu to try and draw the Jinyu because I'm not actually that scared. It would have happened, so, and it didn't, so I'm fine. And I can set up this board where if he gets greedy and does like an Antonidas play or an Emperor play and doesn't have the Nova, like I can just pop him.
Yeah. So
like, if he plays Pains and things, I can just pop him.
On this turn then, you've just played a whole bunch more minions. Is this not a little bit overconfident in that we haven't seen the Flame Strike yet? That's something that's already been on your mind in this game, and actually you don't have much of a way to fill up your board again if that does come out.
Yeah, I don't, but I am. He Flame Strikes on 7 if he has Flame Strike, I think. He Flame Strikes on 7 if he has Flame Strike, and he didn't have it then. He's only drawn 3 cards. Why would he have it now?
So this is one of the things about Miracle Rogue, especially when you have 2 questings in hand. Like, what is it you're thinking about right now? Is it the potential of a coin questing adventurer, or is it just like thinking of potential future turns, thinking of your sequence over the next few turns?
I'm thinking of turn 3. I'm thinking of whether on turn 3 I can make a questing that eventually outlives a fireball. So if on 3, and the result of that is whether I hit or not with this dagger. Because for some reason, and I don't know why, I didn't even consider coin pillager during any of this. I'm just seriously thinking about going on 3, going questing coin conceal, and then on 4 going pillager. And it'll be a 5/5 questing, and then it just gets fireballed. And then my 5/4 pillagers around, but it's a bit iffy. So, and I could, yeah, it was a bit weird, really. So I do this and attack with it because I'm roping, but I think this is wrong. I think I should hold it because I'm actually just going to coin a pillager on 3, aren't I? And then here, Ting Ting should fireball this every single time. There is not a single world. He says on Twitter that he torched it because he wanted to go ping Acolyte next turn. Well, that's nonsensical. If you fireball this and I coin out a Drake, I lose a coin, and then you just torch ping it, and then eventually play your own Acolyte. You've got Alexstrasza curve. You just need to remove my stuff long enough that you can just go Alex face, kill me. Fireballing this is wrong. And to me, that was like, oh, he doesn't have fireball. I'm not going to play around fireball. I actually set up a pop here, and I didn't notice this at first because it's a lot of damage. So I misplay because I don't attack with a pillager immediately. Like, I should do that every time, right? Before I do anything, I should attack with this pillager and go, what's the secret? But I didn't, which is kind of silly. This Leeroy and go, wow, that's +8 damage, right? Because I get to play Leeroy, backstab a thing. Questing's a 7/7, Leeroy's 6, that's 8 damage.
Yeah.
But I don't look at the potential of questing Eviscerate face, or actually what's correct is to go questing, then attack with my questing, then Eviscerate face to pop him at 1. Which I think is better. I think it's better to pop him like that. But I tunnel visioned quite hard here instead. Which is weaker to some things, maybe. I was chatting with Ben for a while. I still think I win a lot of games doing this.
What, tunnel visioning rather than considering what plays?
No, I mean playing this Leeroy instead. But I think it's better generally to play the questing and make the questing big, because then if he does some stupid stuff,
then worst case scenario, he's on 1 HP and he can still finish with the dagger.
Exactly, or just or the Leeroy in hand.
Okay. So your control paladin. Now talk me through this, because You had predicted that this was going to be an anything paladin, hadn't you? What led you to that? What led you to that prediction?
Very good against the lineups that I've discussed with Ting Ting in the past and talked about. And I think he wouldn't have expected me to expect him to bring it because he hasn't brought it to stuff recently. But I kind of clocked him on that and expected this fully. I've also chatted, like the question I asked a lot of people, am I going to beat anything paladin? So I'm playing double devolving, the shaman, for example. And someone who plays a lot of it was like, just Zoo. Just play Zoo. I don't think he wins this game if this Doomsayer goes off, but I think he wins the game if the Doomsayer goes off on 2, because it stops me playing the Councilman on 3. It means that he can draw with Solemn Vigil, and it means that he can, get closer to curving out properly. Whereas now he just hero powers, and he never draws with the Solemn Vigil. One of the benefits of bringing Zoo like this is that he kept Findra in his opening hand because he thought that I was Reno Lock. And
because Zoo is so uncommon, especially in Conquest.
Exactly. Although Ball Control also brought it actually, didn't he? So shout out to Ball Control for bringing Zoo. Zoo, woo! No.
I think we actually made that comment on the stream. I think we actually mentioned, I guess we know who people have been discussing decks with.
It really just becomes a kind of, I go all in order just to win as quickly as possible, and to play around equality consecrate if he top decks the equality but has the consecrate, and to play around equality pyro if he has the pyro and he top decks the equality. Go all in as quick as possible here to give him as little time as possible to draw the cards that he needs. And the
Argus definitely makes for a pretty hefty board. Yeah, you're definitely right in that, like, if he could have found an equality this game, this could have been a very different story.
Yeah, he just plays equality here, right? And he just clears everything except the Argus.
A convincing win, one way to say it.
Yeah,
so
not too bad, eh?
Who are you up against this week, and like, what's your plan going into that?
I'm up against the Legend Killer Pie Man. I don't know if you know who he is. He's a MVP for week 1. The idea against Pie Man really is to assume that he's going to bring similar decks to the ones he usually brings, and find some sort of lineup that kind of preys on 1 or 2 of the 2 or 3 of them, kind of like potentially outplay him, and then spend most of the weekend losing to my friends who will play the decks that I think Pie Man's going to play, and I'll play my lineup. Enough. But a lot of the process for me is losing because I'm not very good.
Okay.
Until I work out why I'm losing.
So your goal is to get the losses out of the way, so that when it comes to the Premiership, you can get the.
Well, it's to get the silly mistakes out of the way. If I can make as many mistakes as humanly possible, then I'll make less against him. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying that he's a pushover. I'm saying that there is potential for me to take wins I shouldn't win. Against Ball Control and Jambray, and Cypher, and Duncan, especially at the moment, I don't win games that I don't deserve to win. I think that there is potential right now, having seen a few of his games, that I could win games I don't deserve to win.
Do you think that's down to his kind of lack of tournament experience?
Lack of tournament experience, yes. In the games against Jambray, right, on cam, he's doing things I was doing in season 1. So he's a bit nervous, he's a bit inexperienced, and he hasn't been on cam long, and it could work against him, and I hope it does. I really do.
All right, so straight from the horse's mouth, Pie Man is Leroy 2.0. We'll see if he can make it to finals like you did in season 1. Thank you very much for joining me, though, man. Any last words you want to say to the audience before we head into week 2?
Watch Duncan. Duncan is going to win this tournament. Duncan's the man.
Awesome. All right, thank you very much for joining us once again, Leroy, and good luck in your games.